So we met up with Scott and one of Scott's friends from college and decided to go out and do a little whale watching and maybe throw in some bait to try and catch a big tuna fish that day. We had heard that not a lot of people were catching tuna, but we figured we'd give it a shot and go from there. As you can see, it was beautiful that day. Weren't a lot of boats out. We were probably about 20 miles off of Montauk, Long Island. Lots of whales, lots of dolphin. Caught a mackerel there. We're gonna use that as bait. Try to catch a big tuna. I don't think I've ever seen so many humpback whales in my entire life. Hundreds of whales. The boys were just elated the whole time. It was their first time out that far in the ocean, so they were ready. These dolphins were swimming right off the bow. It was incredible. One of the things that was incredible, the boys were having so much fun. We woke up at 5 to get out on the boat, and they were just so good. And it was definitely hard to be out of the boat for such a long day, but they did such a great job. That's a picture of when we actually caught the tuna. We dropped the bait down, and we think we hit the tuna right in the head with the mackerel with the bait. So Scott and I are reeling up the other lines, and here we go with Captain Mike start his 5.5-hour journey to bring a gigantic tuna on board. I'd never been tuna fishing before, but it was really more of a learning experience for us. We kind of had a group effort here to try and keep this thing on the hook. Luckily, there weren't a lot of other boaters out that day, so we were able to pretty much follow the tuna wherever it took us. We figured it was a really big one, just on how it was driving us around. And the whole time, there were just dolphins everywhere. Whales everywhere. It was amazing. It was such a beautiful day. The boys took a nap. This was the craziest thing. Jen caught a whale breaching in the background. I couldn't even believe that we got that on video. It was pretty amazing. Meanwhile, Mike's working away trying to get this tuna up. He was only about 80 feet down when we got him on the line, but we had to let a lot of line. That's the first splash. He came up to the surface and the tuna splashed like a sailfish almost. Probably noticed that our tuna gear might be a little bit small for what we're doing, and like I said, Scott and I had never really been tuna fishing before for such big tuna, so this was sort of meant for some smaller fish, but we made it work. Winton enjoyed the waves. Arlo enjoyed filming. We sort of were ready to bring this thing on the boat for 3.5 hours total. It took 5.5 hours to bring him up, and it was just sort of a waiting game, and we were ready the whole time. But then the fish would run, and every time we thought it would get a little bit closer, it would run, and it seemed to have unlimited energy. So we knew this was a really big fish. At one point, we were even being chased by some sharks. These were 3 or 4 small hammerhead sharks they were chasing, and Scott said, "Hey, wait just to bump them in the nose with the gaff so that they don't eat our fish." They eventually went away. Here's Captain Mike reeling away, and Arlo's on his second nap of the day. We're real close. You can see color on the fish, and he's really close, but it seemed like we still had another 2 hours to bring this thing in. It was a monster. Based on what we saw that first time, when we had it that close to the boat, we realized that our gear was way too small and that we had caught a fish of a lifetime. Here's our first real glimpse of the fish, and it's gigantic. We got it really close to the boat, and it kind of seemed to get mad at us. It snarled at us, and then it dove down again, which was really frustrating. It's circling right now, which we thought meant that we were close to bringing that thing in, but it played a couple more tricks on us. We finally got it to the surface again, and it snarled at us again. It kept making noise. It was not very happy with us. And there it is. It was a gigantic fish. We ended up measuring it, and it was 95.5 inches long. Unfortunately, we weren't able to eat the fish. It was too big for us. once we were able to get it controlled next to the boat, we were able to measure it, and that's when we knew for sure that it wasn't something we were able to keep legally. So unfortunately, we had to let it go. But not until everybody got a chance to say goodbye and see this wonderful animal. It was such a big, beautiful animal, and really sad to see it go. Well, that sums up our crazy day out on the ocean with Scott and Mike and the boys. Ben and I had a lot of fun. It was amazing to see so many creatures, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Thanks.